Welcome, everyone, to this briefing brought to you by the Israel Defense and Security Forum, IDSF. This week was Yom Yerushalayim. On Monday, we had a briefing live from Jerusalem where we tried to bring you a little bit of that energy. General Avivi shared with us his views on the importance of Jerusalem and celebrating Jerusalem, not just for the religious Zionist community, but for all Israelis. And when you think about the victories of 1967, so certainly the reunification of Jerusalem is at the top of the list of successes, but we can't forget about Judea and Samaria. We certainly can't forget about the Golan. And therefore, I thought it would be nice to bring you a little bit of the story of the Golan this week. And to do that, I traveled up to the Golan and visited Major Lilach Eshtar, who is a member of IDSF. She is a very important figure in the Golan, fighting to make sure that it stays safe and secure for the entire Jewish people. So listen to what she shared about her experience being up there. She lives literally on the border of the Golan and Syria. You can see straight into Syria from her rooftop. And in fact, when you take a look at the video footage of her speaking, so during the war, she actually installed a machine gun on the roof of where she's standing right there so that she could be the first line of defense between Syria and Israel throughout the war. So listen to what Lilach describes as her experience in the Golan, her analysis of what is happening on Israel's northern border and the importance of Jewish settlement up there.
My father is a Holocaust survivor. I always remember that. He did all the way to Israel by force. Yeah, he didn't. His father he is a Jew, but his mother is a Christian. So he didn't realize he's a Jew for quite a long time. Only when the Holocaust, So he could. I will say it very simple. I always say it to myself also. He was in Budapest, and in Budapest they used to collect Jewish kids. That was and put them together on a row on the Danube River, and then with machine guns kill them. And then it was a clean homicide, genocide, whatever, because the kids or the Jew were falling into the river, and the river took them, and there were no spot of blood of everything. So my father was caught by the Nazis. He was only 12, and he was on the bench of the Danube River, and he was watching the SS with the machine guns pointing at them, and he was looking at the skies and waiting for someone to save him. God probably was there because he was jumping like I don't know, second of a second before to the water and been saved. But I think God is one option. It's the best option, but we need also airplane up in the sky. If my father had an airplane up in the sky, he was the most happiest man. So I'm here, I have airplane, and I'm not moving anywhere. See, it's so simple. It's so simple. And to me, to build a new village, it's only 5 families here, yeah, and we're struggling with everyone, with authorities, with our neighbor Druze that want our land, and with the Hezbollah on the border. But we're a believer, and we feel privileged that we have the chance to build Israel. God, my parents' generation didn't have. They were refugees wherever they were. So nobody kicked me out of my house, Nobody. It's very simple. So we stayed, and we took the chance that we will be bombed and something will happen. Yes, and it didn't happen, not this time, but it's okay. I'm willing to take this chance. So it wasn't a scared war to me. And I must tell you something about this sport. We always see the drones coming from that way, yeah? So I'm here with my radio, army radio, with my weapon, looking at that, and I see 2 drones go like this, and I see one of the planes coming, a plane coming like buzzing. Yeah, taking one down. And I said, and I'm letting them know in the radio that one drone is to head to the one of the. We knew exactly where they're heading to. There were like army bases in the area, and then he was turning around to going back, right? And I'm looking at him and I said, "What? What? Well, it's like a comics when you see, it's like a comics, right?" And I'm here, it's my radar, it's my gun, right? I'm a gun. It's a drone, right? And I'm looking at that and I said, "Okay, what happened? What will happen? Will happen. You can't do anything. You don't have time for anything." And then God and a plane arrived. The plane just came from behind. And I said, "Okay, works that time." The Jew that lives here, not Majdal Shams. You have Majdal Shams and you have Khadir. It's another Jewish village on the other side. Now we are helping them, but they were working with Assad. The Jews were with Assad, and we were helping Julani, our friend Julani. He was a friend of us. He was the rebels were here. The rebels. You see the mountain. You can't see it. It's like behind the tree. It's called the Har Kramim. The rebels, Jolani, till 2018 was sitting there, and the Druze with Assad and Hezbollah were sitting here, and they were shooting at each other. Every night we had like a rocket and bombing each other. That was the border between Jolani and Assad regime, okay? What happened? And then we were helping Jolani, yeah. We were working with Jolani, and the Druze here were working with Assad. What happened today? Opposite. We are working with the Druze, and Jelani is the enemy. This is the Middle East, And I always say, it's very interesting, If you take my phone and look about the people that I have all sides because, I was talking with them when they were with us. I was talking with them. It's very, very interesting, Israel. Your enemy is one day a friend, and one day is his enemy. It's not only about religion, it's also about economic. You have to understand that Assad, he used to have a Keptagon factories here. Keptagon is drugs. He was drugging all the Middle East and the Arab world. And when he fell, the factories, everything stopped, but it stopped in a way that millions and tons of money and drugs are still, still here. It's like, and who hold it? Militian. You would call it mafia, but here it's a militian, right? So the militians, part of them were Druze also. So a lot of things that we hear, it's not pure ethnic clashes, okay? It's about the drugs and the trails of many things that are getting in and out of Syria, right? And because of the Jews are connected to each other, it's very easy to have this militias working together, right? You have in Sweden, it's a border to Jordan. You have in Jaramana, it's near Damascus, and then you have in the way to Lebanon, and then you got here Khader, it's to Israel. So they are sitting on the trails, right? When you can move and bring in and out many things. So we shouldn't be very, we are a bit, the Western world is very, how may I say, we are very kind of naive, A lot of things are involved in that. And we shouldn't be very excited over every, movie on the Telegram, someone will post or post, and we should see exactly what is behind of it. But the thing is that now we are helping the Jews. Why? Because we don't want the Turkish to be at the Golan, to put their post in the Golan. Personally, I don't believe that Jolani and Erdogan are working good together. They can't, because Erdogan, as we call him, he wants an empire. Yeah, and who wants an empire also? Jolani. Jolani also think in religion, state of mind of empires. And I remind you all that the Umayyad Empire that became the first that's the Khalifa after Ali, right? He took over Ali, and Ali is the Shia, and that was in Damascus. And when he was crowning himself Ashara Julani, he did it in the same mosque because he is telling everyone, also the Shia and the Muslim all over the world, a new king, a new Khalifa is coming. So it doesn't work, not with Iran, of course, because it's like a Karbala, the Karbala clashes. It's Umayyah, the people from Damascus, and the people of Ali, of Iran, so-called Iran. If I had to bet, I think the Iranians are doing whatever they can to put him down. He's now the great enemy. He's the great enemy, and he doesn't work, and he can't let. Of course, he gives Erdogan a lot of press. I mean, he gives him a lot because he needs everything. So he gives everything to everyone, and everyone gives him everything. But his goal is to be the leader. He's a very smart guy. He was, I must remind you, he was Al Qaeda Syria, and then he quit. Why? Because he understood that in the new age of terror organization, you have to be local and you have to have land. Since 73, Israel is not fighting against not countries, only against terror organizations that have land, like the Hamas in Gaza, like Hezbollah. The only organization who survived that kind of organization, and he's smart, he understood that. And then he quit Al Qaeda, and you have to be very brave to quit Al Qaeda. It's like a mafia. Yeah, you don't say I'm going. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. I'm taking the weapon, your weapon, I'm going. He's a very brave guy, and he left, and he established Zubat al Nusra, and this is local that have a land. So he is very smart guy, very brave, and he's looking for ahead. And definitely Erdogan, Turkey is not part of the business. So I think what happened now is he's trying to build his own kingdom. And of course, he's doing that in Damascus because there's nothing from Damascus to the south. The oil part is, of course, in the east, and the sea is over there. There's nothing here. So we say, okay, Israel, do whatever you like. You know what the difference between Al Qaeda and Daesh? It's the same vision, but the difference is the tactical vision. What is it? Daesh said, let's start in-house. Let's kill all the Shia and all the rest, and let's organize the kingdom inside, and then we'll kill the Jew, the Christian, and all the others. And Al Qaeda said, first we'll kill the others, and then we'll kill the inside. Okay, that's the thing. Remember the war? It's only a practical part of how you make it. Then Jolani was in the part that said, let's fight the outside. Al Qaeda was the one who said, let's bomb the Christian gate of Rome, blah blah blah. And then he understood it doesn't work because the coffers, the Christian and the Jew are strong enough. He understood it doesn't work. But if you read well the vision, you got time. You have time for that. First you build the house, and then you build the village, and then you build the country, and then you do what you do. Yeah, he's smart. Of course, you have a Islamistic Muslim radical vision, for sure. The thing is that economy doesn't run the world. Not the motivation, but practically it does. You know what I mean? It's like Egypt. The Egyptian army, wow. This is a very scary army. But they don't have money for food, right? So, and the only thing that they do, they pay for the only thing that he pays, whatever he pays, this is for the army. Why? Because it's hold his chair, right? His crown. Because all the rest of the Egyptians are Akhwan, are Muslims, fanatic, Muslim brother, So we know that the money make it put him where he is now. Even speaking with the Turkish, although they are in big. So a bit about us, Nimrod, yeah. You can ask more. A bit about Nimrod. We are 5 families in that. I was doing the rallies for the Golan 25 years ago. There was a big rally, not to give the Golan to Assad. Late Prime Minister Rabin had agreement that for many reasons didn't, maybe because of us, but probably not because of us. It didn't happen. And I was taken by the people of the Golan. I had like few minutes of my life that I thought I will be a very normal woman with a normal life, civilian life. Mistake. But in that period, the people of the Golan asked me to. I had like this PR, communication, a strategic, political office, and I was doing their campaign. And while I was doing the campaign for the Golan, I was in Tel Aviv, one of the restaurants, those meetings, and someone said they were looking for crazy people for this crazy spot, for this really crazy, let's say crazy people. And I said, yeah. And they laughed at me and said, you can't wake up without your cappuccino. And I said, you're right. And I did brought my cappuccino machine to here. And I went to my husband. We both had like worked very hard. He was a builder, and I had like my communication office. And I said, listen, they was talking about Nimrod, someplace named Nimrod. And he said, he's Golani officer. We both met in Golani on a machine gun. We both were shooting together, and he looked at me and said, you're a good shooter. And that was our first date. But the point is, when I told you, well, there is a place like Nimrod, he's like from Golani officer. He opened maps, he was counting, looking at the maps, and said, "Wow, it's the highest place in Israel." I said, "Okay, does it mean something?" And said, "Yes, it's going to be very cold." And then at the weekend, we just drove here, and that was a base. That was a post. Ariel Sharon was building it after he recognized we need another post here on the border. This is the highest village in Israel, so you can watch all over exactly what people in my cabin say, oh, what a view. Yeah, Arik Sharon really thought about that view. Yeah, he said, how can I see the enemy from Bong? So there was like a base, and we replaced the soldiers. And we were 5 families, and they said to us, we'll organize everything, just come. And we came, and think what happened. Nothing happened, except that everybody's suing us at the court house for years. And they didn't. Nimrod is still 5 families, but we will win. The system, the enemies, the bad guys will win. We're people of hope,
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this briefing. We are going on a little bit of a hiatus for the Jewish holiday of Shavuot, so I look forward to being back with you at the end of next week. Stay tuned in our emails for the date of our next briefing. And if you're not in our email list, if you don't receive our newsletter, look in the description to sign up. It's a great time to join us. And by the way, it's a great time also to like and subscribe to this channel so we can continue sharing the truth about Israel with the world. Until next week, stay safe, stay strong. Take care, everyone.